This is Peak of the Week. It's your shot of spiritual caffeine to get you over the hump of the week. And I wanted to tell you a story from this past Sunday. You may know that I was serving at a church in Reading, Pennsylvania. I'm thinking about my roots. But in Reading, Pennsylvania, I was serving, preaching on Sunday, 2 services. And good to see you here. And I was standing in the second service beside the woman who is the pastor, the pastor leading the church right now. They have another pastor that's coming in February, but she is holding down the fort on her own right now in this church. Lovely church, by the way. And can I just say thank you to St. John's Reformed Church for having me speak this past Sunday. But anyway, so in the first service, first of all, so the two of us walked up. This is the way they do it. So you walk up the aisle. The two of us walked up the aisle, and then when you get up onto the platform, we separate. And she had coached me beforehand. Then we separate, and she sits on one side, and I sat on the other as their guest preacher. And so it was just lovely to do that with her. The other thing you might need to know about this particular pastor is that she has recently suffered loss. At Christmas, she has suffered the loss of her husband of many, many years. So here we are now in the second service. And the second service is their contemporary service. And so we are sitting not on the platform this time. We're actually sitting down below, up, close to the front, but we're down below in a pew. And we're standing there and we're worshiping together, side by side. And one of the worship songs was particularly hitting both of us, and we were both in tears. I could see out of my, peripheral vision that she was in tears. And of course, it's been over 8 months for me with the loss of my David. And I can see that she's in tears, and I'm sitting there thinking, whatever it was we were singing, don't even remember, do not remember the words, doesn't matter. Here's what happened. I just looked at her and I said, "Can I put my arm around you?" She went like this. I put my arm around her, and we just stood there, the two of us, leading the church that morning, and cried. And I just said to her, "It's not lost on me that the two of us are leading this service, 2 women who are going through the grieving process." And she just nodded and said, "It's not lost on me either, Nancy." And you guys, it was a really powerful, moving, humbling moment for me to realize, man, we're broken. We're doing our work of grieving for sure. And yet we are able to lead and to comfort these 2 women, 2 leaders in the church, able to still get up on this past Sunday. And she holds down the fort there. She's been doing it since her husband passed. And I'm reminded of this passage, and I want to leave it with you today. And it's 2 Corinthians chapter 1. And it's Paul, and he's speaking to the church at Corinth, and he says this: "Praise be to the Lord, to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in our trouble so that we can comfort those in trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God." So my peak of the week, this is your shot of spiritual caffeine to get you over the hump of the week. That's what these peaks of the weeks are. Peaks of the weeks. That's what they are. I want to encourage you. Comfort someone. If you have in any way received comfort, ever from another person, if someone put their arm around you at just the right time, if someone texted you, called you, emailed you, came over for a visit, did anything, sent you anything to comfort you in any way at any time, and you can recall that comfort, could I encourage you in this peak of the week? Could I encourage you to reach out? Is there someone in your life today who needs a little extra comfort? It's winter. It's COVID and it's winter. And people are suffering. Could I encourage you, even if you yourself are suffering, if you're in grief, if you have ever received and can call on some moment where someone comforted you in your suffering. This woman, this leader, this pastor comforted me. And I comforted her. The two of us leading that church on Sunday, comforting each other as we led the church in the distress. Of course, we're all in distress. It's COVID. We're suffering. And we were still able to lead. Why? Because we ourselves have been comforted with God's comfort from people, from other people. It's a treasure. Could I encourage you to be that person for another today? This is Peak of the Week. It's your shot of spiritual caffeine to get you over the hump of the week. Go out and do that today in some wonderful, small or large, beautifully comforting way. God bless you.